model year 2022 Hyundai Tucson, all new for this generation. I'm specifically with the top trim Ultimate Hybrid. So let's go over some of the exterior looks first because they really stand out. Starting at the front, having the day runners embedded into the grille just looks so elegant and sharp and really stands out. And it's one of my favorite design features of the entire Tucson. Lots of angles and sharp folded bits, kind of like the Elantra has. I know it's Hyundai's new design language, just to be edgy and sharp with the creases and folds. I'm not fully sold on it yet myself. I agree that yes, it helps it stand out, but I don't know, it's not something I would have gone for specifically. So you can see all the design lines along the body. Fun fact and definite quirk, the Hyundai logo at the rear is reminiscent of the Hyundai logo at the front of the now defunct Veracruz. And it's the first thing I noticed. And I wonder why Hyundai did that. The cool perk here for me is the way the rear wiper is tucked in at the top, and it just comes down as opposed to it being at the bottom and kind of folding up and out. Overall, it's a really good looking vehicle as far as modern and new design goes. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a solid 8. Weird thing for me is that there's no hood or covering over the dashboard. I get it. It's a cool design. It looks really nice. But it's when your hand's up at the top here and you kind of just move your fingers up to tap them against the top or the cover part of the dashboard. You know, you play along with whatever songs on the radio. I missed that in this, and it's been a few times this week where I've just kind of aimlessly tap my fingers upwards to find all sorts of nothing. But it is a very sharp looking display. And at first I'm like, well, why isn't there a heads up display? Like, maybe there should be, because this dashboard is a little lower down, but it's still easy to see. You don't have to, duck your head underneath and look through the top hole of the steering wheel. I think, and I hope, I think this will be Hyundai's new design language, and I really hope that it is. Just by getting rid of that hood there, just gives it a lot more of an open concept and a wider feel for the driver. For 3 different styles for your double dials, and one with the cube, which was kind of cool, and I like that a lot in the Hyundai Elantra. So moving on from there, steering wheel, a lot of Hyundais, if not all Hyundais, are going to have the same wheel going forward. Just the kind of like a 4-spoke, but there's holes. There's a cutaway to it right now, so you can see what I mean, but it's comfortable. I really like it, and it's a heated steering wheel as well. Going over a bit to the left, just a touch, there are your memory seats just right at the top, and there's a cool like multi-pattern design here. There's the white, and then there's a bit of a cloth texture here, and from there you go up to your kind of piano black, which not really a big fan of the piano black, and then it gets up to the leather. Quickly talk about the infotainment system. It's huge, it's massive, it's crystal clear, it is very responsive, it is very quick. My only gripe, and this is a massive irk for me, there is no physical volume knob, there's no volume wheel, there's no volume anything. It's just part of the tactile buttons, and yes, I know I can just thumb down on the steering wheel to bring it down, but if any of you recall the ongoing backlash that Honda received for tossing their volume knob in the Civic, it was so bad they actually brought it back. And there is a wireless charger just beneath your HVAC system. And speaking of the HVAC system, it's nice, it looks great. Again, no dials, no hard touch buttons. But I think the drawback here is going to be in winter when you're pushing away with gloves on and trying to get your temperature up, temperature down, fan speed up, fan speed down, and whatever else you're doing with that. Further down, just in front of the push button gear shift, which is really cool because it takes up hardly any space now. You got your heated seats, you got your cool seats, you got your heated steering wheel, you got your hill descent control, you got your parking monitors, you got your cameras, and your passenger's side heated and cool seats. So it's all in one thin bar, and I really like how Hyundai has made the most out of a little amount of space, and it's not cluttered, it's not big chunky buttons. Like, I wish these hard touch buttons were in the HVAC system, and maybe one of or two of the things for the infotainment. But you know what? A couple of years, I think that there will absolutely be a physical volume knob. Going around to what you see in front of the passenger seat, just that nice, cool design, and it's very streamlined, and it flows really nicely. There's a cool arc to it, and it just looks really, really sharp overall. Looking up, we have a massive panoramic sunroof, lets lots of light in. Now the roof liner is whitish gray, but again, just having that really opens up the cabin and just gives it that nice, open, airy feeling. All right, let's jump into the driving dynamics side of it. So with the hybrid, it's a 1.6 liter turbo 4, and this is all-wheel drive. So your total combined output is 227 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It's got a 44.2 kilowatt electric motor, and it's got a 1.49 lithium battery. So all of that together provides for really strong driving dynamics. Let's say dying dynamics. That's not what I meant to say at all. Driving dynamics. So I took this to a cottage for just a little solo last-minute retreat the day I got it. So I got it last Monday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take off for 72 hours. And the highway driving with the new Tucson Hybrid is so smooth. It is so quiet. And I went from Mississauga to Muskoka, and if any of my Southern Ontario viewers are watching this, you'll know that it's a fairly smooth and boring ride all the way up to 400, but once you get into cottage country, it becomes really twisty and windy. And for a crossover with a taller stance, the Tucson did very well. There's a little bit of body roll, but again, it's a taller vehicle, but I never had an unsteady feeling. It was always just really, really planted, and it did such a good job. I came away really impressed. And then for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when I was back in Mississauga for the rest of the week, I'm just doing groceries, just regular drives and errands and all that. The Tucson does very well in the city, and lots of great visibility. And here's my favorite part about the driving dynamics for the Tucson Hybrid. The flip between gasoline and electric is seamless. It's absolutely seamless. I had to look down a couple of times just to see if I was in gasoline mode or battery mode. It was that quiet and seamless. Now, I'll rev the engine a touch now so you can take a listen. So you can hear it now. It's kind of kicking around 2,500 revs, and now it's silent. And I think that has a lot to do with how well the noise canceling is in the Tucson. I'm so impressed with it. And they've done such a good job. And I think this just may steal a ton of sales away from the RAV4 Hybrid. And the RAV4 is just the perennial leader. There's the Escape Hybrid as well. There's the Venza, which is a little bit of a stretch. But Hyundai's done a bang-up job for driving dynamics. So it's a 52-liter tank. And in liters per 100 kilometers, we are at 6.3 in the city. We're at 6.6 on the highway. Not a misspeak, that's just what it is. And with hybrids, it's higher consumption on the highway as opposed to the city. So just a quick recap so I can give you those three numbers in sequence. 6.3 in the city, 6.6 on the highway, blended total of 6.4. I've done, I had to fill the tank up before I started the review, so I've done about, I think, 800 kilometers, and I was at 7.2. Now, I had a lot of stuff in the vehicle for my my getaway for the first 3 days. I had to do some moving for a couple of friends, so there's extra weight in the vehicle. People-wise, it was just me, but you know, overall, it's really good. And definite perk here compared to the gasoline-only version. It's 3 liters per 100 kilometers less. Quick touch on safety. Hyundai has so much safety, and especially on the top trim, there's a list on the screen. Everything is included, and even on the non-top trims, Hyundai jams a lot of standard safety features in here, so I'm really happy that they did that. And it's just a sign of the times. Things are getting a lot more on the safer side, standard side as far as safety goes. Back to touching on the driving dynamics, we do have different drive modes, and they're just above your gear shifter here. So there's Eco, Sport, and Smart. I wish there was a normal. I lived in eco for almost all of my time just to get the most amount of mileage out of it. Yeah, I kicked around in sport for a bit just to see what it could do. And smart, just is more for the adaptive side of things. But with smart, I found it leaned a little too heavy towards eco. And if that's the case, or that was the case, I just would have stuck in eco. But you know, it's again not a deal breaker, just something to keep in mind if you are test driving the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up. If you've got any questions on the 2022 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Let me get myself fully out of the sun. And here we are. Yep. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. And feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And feel free to tell somebody about the channel who you think might be interested in what I do. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support as a small creator on the rise. Be well, be healthy, be safe, and I will see you in the next video.